It is an incredibly special edition of Market Movers today. Of course, it's a Monday, so we have Anita Marks with us. I'm Dan Koob, but of course, we have to start, Anita, with the chant of the day, which is USA.
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 USA. Took us 3. We finally got on the same page. There we go.
Whose idea was it for us to do the show while they're playing Wales?
Me. This guy right here.
So when you see me doing this, it's because women are great at multitasking. So if you see me doing this, I'm listening to you, but I'm watching Team USA.
That's okay. When you see me doing this and I'm looking up out of the camera, I'm also doing the same thing. So we're only 3 minutes into the initial World Cup match for the States against Wales. It's 0-0, but probably as expected, Anita, U.S. possessing the ball more so. I guess 3 minutes in. How much more can you really possess it? But a quick attack to start for the States. And this Wales team projecting to be one that's going to kind of pack it in, play a little more defense. But a lot of time spent in the offensive zone here for the Stars and Stripes so far.
Yeah, listen, I think this is a really exciting time for men's soccer. Of course, we know the women have dominated for years now. But this is a very young team. They've got a lot of young talent. 13 of the 26 players do play in Europe on top 5 league teams. 5 of them play in the Premier League. You've got a lot of talent on this team. They play 4-3-3 system. Their midfield dominates, which I think is going to be the difference maker in this game against Wales, because they've got a fragile back line. They come into this with not great form. They've lost 4 of their last 5. So this is and this is such a huge game for the United States because nobody's expecting them to beat England.
Yeah.
So, if they could, I think if they could just walk away maybe with a draw against England and beat Wales, they're going to qualify and they're going to advance to the 16. So, so this is a really, really big match for them.
England walked away with a 6-2 victory over Iran earlier today. If you're looking at just the FIFA ratings, you may look at this game and say, well, the United States should beat Wales. In the FIFA rankings, the States 16th overall, Wales is 19th. Again, the U.S. now almost 5 minutes in continues to possess. We are live trading this game. We're going to talk about the NFL as we typically would do on a Monday with Anita Marks, but also want to bring you up to speed on exactly what we're trading on. So if you look to the left of your screen, you have Anita's trades. I'll back out so you can see all of them. She has the United States to win, which right now is up $1.50. She has the under 2.5 goals scored, which right now is up $2, which you can see there. Of course, anything in the green on Sport Trade means you are in the profit. And then she has the U.S. minus 1.5. So you're really trying to thread the needle here, Anita. You are hoping basically for a 2-0 outcome here for our boys over in Qatar. And that's trading at just $17, now down to $15.5 per contract. How confident do you feel in your ability to thread the needle there?
So this is what I did earlier today. I played the Netherlands and just a straight up win, and I played the Netherlands in that match with the under at 2.5. So I won both. So my play in this match is I like the United States to win. My second play is I like the under at 2.5. And then now I'm playing with Sport Trade House money. I went back on and I looked and I said, wow, I can get the United States at minus 1.5 for around $16. That way, I feel like I'm covering myself. If the over does hit, but yet the United States does win by 2 goals, then I feel like I've hedged my bet there somewhat. Make sense?
Of course. And if you were to listen to all the marketing around this game, again, the States still in the offensive zone here, 6.5 minutes in. No shots on goal yet. If you were to look at the marketing around this entire World Cup experience, I mean, it looks as though they are really pushing for a new era of American soccer. I think there are 13 guys 24 or younger on this team, or 15 guys who are 24 or younger on this side. You mentioned the experience overseas, and the squad was talking before the game about picking this roster full of guys who had experience playing overseas, specifically in England, guys who could handle the pressure. We'll see what happens. Obviously, full 90 minutes on tap here from Qatar, but 7 minutes in, a lot of U.S. possessing the ball. We'll pull up the trades once more because on Sport Trade, of course, these things are going to fluctuate throughout the entire game. We look at my trades on the right. Those are Dan's trades. I'm also on the States obvi, but I'm on the over 2.5. I want to see us light.
Oh, really? You're on the over.
I'm on the over. I want to see us light the lamps here, Anita. I want to see us scoring goals, taking names. All right. The Welsh may have Ryan McElhaney and Ryan Reynolds, but they got nothing on us. USA, we're getting them. So a Wrexham joke. Pretty sure they're in Wales. I've only seen the pilot. But we are going to talk a little NFL as well. Well, before we do that, let me pull up our futures market. So
this is where it gets fun.
Yeah. So we've already placed some trades here in the futures market. Anita, I know you've done so as well. So I'll pull up our pricing as of this afternoon. An injury for the French has dropped their price and picked up a couple ticks for Brazil. The number 1 ranked squad in the entire World Cup. They're trading at 22.5 to win the entire tournament. Of course, this is a futures market, right? So this will rise and fall, but you can buy and sell it whenever you want. Argentina at 15 is my pick to win, and we'll get into those reasons shortly. France at 10.5, England at 10, Spain at 9, the Germans at 7.50, Netherlands at 7, Portugal 6, and Belgium at 4.5. So Anita, when you look at that list, what do you think?
A few things. Brazil, they've been it's in their DNA to win their World Cup each and every 4 years, right? I mean, these guys like start playing soccer in the womb. That's what it's just, there is no weakness. It's like the entire country is it's just winning the World Cup is the most important thing for them than anything in the world. And they are just born and bred for this tournament. They've got the best goaltenders. In fact, both of their goaltenders could start on any team. And again, we just saw what happened with Iran.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
two big chances for the States there, and no goals scored, unfortunately, but two real cracks at it. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. So you saw Iran, and the goalie and his player ran into him and busted his nose, and he came out. Then the backup goalie had to come in, and of course, there goes that game. We saw what happened with England. It was a score fest. So Brazil's got not just one great goalkeeper, but two strikers that could score at any time. Great defense, and also and not sure if you're reading into this, but how heat there is going to play a factor.
Yeah,
this is going to be one of the warmest World Cups in quite a while, and so teams that come from warm climates are going to have an advantage. I also like Spain. To me, I think they're the second best team on paper. They're coming together. I think they've got the best manager in Luis Enrique. I think Morta is going to have to step up, and he typically always does on a big stage. And they've got a really strong midfield. So for me, it's Brazil and or Spain. But I know you're on Argentina.
Yes.
And I'm gonna follow your lead there as well. I'm gonna throw some coin on Argentina as well. Tell us all the reasons why you like Argentina.
There's only one. Here it is. This gentleman right here. This gentleman right here, my long lost twin, Sergio Aguero. My brother, Sergio Aguero, hanging out on Market Movers. Thanks for being here, brother. Bring it home. Argentina. Bring it home for us, for the family.
I love it. Listen, Argentina could do it as well. They're coming in great form.
Yeah.
Messi, the only I think country that they have to worry about in their group is Poland. So I have them winning Group C for sure. And I think they're going to make a good run at it. I also, just for poops and giggles,
sure, not a
lot of money, but I bought 5 contracts of USA. It's not even $1, right?
Let's go.
And also, I like Uruguay. I think Uruguay is a big sleeper here, so I bought Uruguay as well.
Yeah,
those are the 5 countries I'm on.
I have Switzerland for 70 cents. Why not? Be neutral for once. Come on, Switzerland. We'll look at our trades real quick, then we'll move on to the week that was in NFL trading.
Do we have to?
We will be sure to come back many, many times to USA and Wales. You're under looking really good right now. It's already up $5 here, Anita. Under 2.5 goals, up to $66. The States up 50 cents. They've been in attack mode from the very beginning. My over down 5.50. Oh, and a yellow card here coming out against the United States. Let's see. That's going to be on McKinney, Weston McKinney, picking up a yellow here in the 13th minute. A failed slide tackle of a Welshman. So we'll see what's going to happen here after a penalty upcoming. Okay, let's move on to our NFL picks from the last week that was, Anita. I know you had a lot of trades, and it looked like for the most part, you had done pretty well. I'll tell you that I lost UConn outright against Army. UConn was trading at I want to say $20, down 7. And driving against Army. They immediately score a touchdown. I say, this is a misprice. I'm going to do it. Army then ends up winning 35-17 or whatever. So that was fun. Had SC outright over UCLA. Loved that one. Had a contract and a half of that. The over in Atlanta, Chicago yesterday. Sold that at 98. And then my Birds, my Eagles, bought them right before Jalen Hurts led the touchdown drive that ended up winning the football game. And the biggest blunder of the entire weekend, and I know I'm not alone, we sat here last Monday and said the Vikings being home dogs to the Dallas Cowboys was the most disrespectful line of the entire NFL season. Turns out I was wrong. I was really wrong.
We were both wrong. In regard to college football, I was all over USC. Sure enough, they got the deal done. Also, my favorite play was the over, and that hit as well, over 75.5. I mean, what a fun game that was to watch, especially if you stayed up late and you watched it all the way to the end. In regards to the NFL, let's start with the good before we get to the bad. Jets Patriots under at 38.5. I mean, Zach Wilson, what, 3 yards? What was it, 3 yards in the second half? Okay, yeah, Jets. You stick with your quarterback.
Should we just do this? Should we just do this now? Should we have the conversation we were having before we went live? They have to move. They have to move on. They have to move on.
Here's the thing. This Jets defense is so damn good.
Yeah.
You can't waste another year with Zach Wilson. You have to bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, go get Derek Carr. You have to bring in a quarterback and especially you heard Garrett Wilson. Did you hear the Garrett Wilson comments after the game? That's another thing. Listen, there's talent on. It's not like Zach Wilson isn't working with anything. And they get Breece Hall back next year. You've got a solid offensive line. You improve it in the draft. Maybe you improve it a little bit more in free agency. You've got a plethora. You have so many weapons that Elijah Moore is like, hello,
an afterthought.
Somebody passed me the ball. I mean, a big part of it is that Zach Wilson can't get anybody the ball. But nonetheless, this defense is so good. This coaching staff, Robert Saleh, they're so good. You can't waste. You're going to have to pivot. You're going to have to take, egg on your face. Zach Wilson was not the right choice. Go get a quarterback and compete in that AFC East next year.
At last check here, 16th minute, U.S. possessing the ball, still scoreless out in Qatar. Okay, we'll turn our attention to Monday Night Football. Niners and Cardinals from Mexico City, of all places, part of the international affairs going on in the National Football League. The fourth country to see a game so far this season, joining Germany, England, the States, and now Mexico. The Niners trading at $80 to beat Arizona, who's trading at $21. The Niners minus 7.5 at 56.5, and the Cardinals to cover 7.5 at 44.5. 43.5 is the total at $50.50. The under is not $5.50. That's the case of the host of the show rushing to get graphics done. It is actually $50.50 in both directions. I would surmise if the under were trading at $5.50, we would see a lot of action. I'll get on the horn with the promo crew. Maybe we can offer that to the people, but that is not the price. $50.50 to the under. Anita, what do you think about tonight?
So I'm just curious. Did you just immediately want to go to the Monday Night Football game so we don't have to talk about how horrible your Eagles are in the first half of games anymore and how they continue to lose me money for the past 2 weeks? Is that why?
It was part of the equation.
Is that why we just jumped right to Monday Night Football?
Okay, if I lose trades, but my team wins, I feel justified. Hey, it's hard to win on the road. Jeff Saturday is probably the best coach in NFL history. Let's be honest. He was literally 1,000% winning. His winning percentage was 1,000 coming into yesterday. So
just like the Jets have to pivot away from Zach Wilson, I have to pivot away from betting the Eagles in the first half of games moving forward. All right, let's talk about Monday Night Football. 49ers. What were you going to say?
No, you know what, team? The coaching staff had done a really good job of sort of staying ahead of the scouting report, but since the Texans game, it's been tough sledding. I'm not going to say they gave people the blueprint because the Texans are 1-8-1. I'm not going to say that. The Eagles are 9-1. But teams are making it a lot more difficult for Jalen Hurts. They're kind of keeping him compressed in the pocket, making him speed up his clock. There's a lot of stuff going on. But great teams have lulls mid-season. We are smack dab in the middle of the season. I don't anticipate they're going to stay this bad.
Monday Night Football on to the 49ers.
Okay.
Cincinnati. Right. Anyway, so as we know, this game is taking place in Mexico City tonight. Keep in mind it's elevation over 7,000 feet. What does that mean? Air is thin. It's a real thing. Okay, there's going to be like copious amounts of oxygen and oxygen tanks on each sideline. That's for sure. As we know, the 49ers _1 defense, third best against the run. They're only allowing opponents to rush for 3.4 yards per carry, fourth best pressure rate. Here's what I really like about this matchup with the 49ers defense. They have the third best defense against short intermittent passing. And Colt McCoy is expected to start tonight, and that's his wheelhouse. Colt McCoy is has one of the quickest releases. He's really good in regard to the 3-step drop, immediate release. He's very cerebral. He reads defenses extremely well, and he's really good getting rid of the ball quickly. But again, the 49ers' third best defense in regard to those short intermittent passes and that's where Colt McCoy thrives. So that's going to be a tough matchup for him tonight. And of course, Arizona without Zach Ertz. I think the play here is the under. I don't like the points. I think the points are just too much, especially, listen, Colt McCoy has won some football games for Arizona. I mean, he's like, one might argue that Arizona has a better chance of beating the 49ers or winning football games without Murray and with Colt McCoy. But I'm not necessarily going there. I'm just saying there's some people who do believe that. I just think the play here is the under. I think 49ers defense is just so good. And the Cardinals, I think, are going to really struggle to put up any points tonight.
Well, they completely dominated the 49ers defense, the Los Angeles Chargers last week. I mean, to the point where their offense was rendered obsolete. Couldn't run the ball. All they could do was dump it down. There was nothing up top. They had 2 wide receivers out, but they just couldn't do anything. And I don't anticipate a scenario where, even with all these wide receivers the Falcons have, Marquise Brown expected to come back off IR. I'm kind of with you. I definitely don't see them scoring a ton of points. Now, again, the under is not priced at $5.50, as you saw here. It's $50.50. I would be tailing you on that as well. All right, it is time, of course, weekly for The Price is Tight. And I got to tell you, the standings, Anita, getting tight.
I know.
A lot of good games this week, though. We'll start with Thanksgiving threesome here. Probably shouldn't have said that. Cowboys and Giants. We'll start with them. Cowboys coming off of a massive, massive win. Should have been favored over the Vikings. Hand up. I'll put a hand up. Should have been favored. Guess what? They showed us why. So Cowboys at Giants. I said, coming off of that win, now hosting the Giants, who have been skating by on an easy schedule, finally got their comeuppance yesterday against Detroit at home, of all places. I think the Cowboys are going to roll. I think the Giants are fake. I think this is the week where everyone finds out that the Cowboys are pretty good and the Giants are going to fall by the wayside. So I had the Cowboys at $75 per contract to win the game.
Yeah, ditto. Right there with you, my friend. Listen, a big reason why the Giants lost, they're dropping like flies. Yeah. And heading into this game, Robinson, he puts up 100 receiving yards, and all of a sudden, that was first of all, the Detroit Lions are playing so hard for Dan Campbell. That was their 3rd straight win. They beat
very quietly. Detroit's won 3 in a row. Yeah.
They beat the Chicago Bears, and both those teams
beat the Packers.
Put up the Packers and the Bears both put up more yards than the Detroit Lions, but they just capitalized on 3 interceptions with Aaron Rodgers and a pick 6 against Justin Fields. And of course, yesterday, Danny Dimes, I want to say 100. I think he had 156 straight passes without interception, and he tosses 2 interceptions. One really wasn't his fault, and Hutchinson just made a really unbelievable play out the ball on the ball. But nonetheless, heading into this matchup, I think you're right. I think the Giants, they just don't have they don't have bodies. It's a short work week. They're down to their 4th and 5th corners. So I've got the Cowboys at 75, and I'm going to be playing the Cowboys, and I'll not only am I going to play the Cowboys to win, but I don't know, whatever. What are they? -8, -9. Giants are going to get their butts handed to them.
Agreed. Tough one yesterday. I'll pull back the curtain a bit. I've known Wan'Dale Robinson since he was in 9th grade. So
oh, really?
I have. So a really tough morning, seeing that he tore his ACL. He's a great kid, obviously a hell of a player, and he was getting a ton of usage now that he was finally healthy after an injury-plagued training camp. So hoping for better days for Wan'Dale next year. Speedy, quick recovery, my man. Quick check on the soccer. They are playing the soccer. 24th minute, we're still scoreless, as you can see here on the right. Anita's trades. The United States, despite the fact that they have been possessing the ball basically the entire game, down $2 to win. So this is a real buying opportunity, I think, if you're looking at this and saying possession is 9/10 of the law here in terms of winning, and the United States has been doing a lot of it. So I would do that. The under is flying towards 100, now up $13. It's $74 for you, Anita. And then 9 states -1.5, still very much in play.
I understand. There's more. United States has taken more shots at goal than Wales has. Why is it down?
It's a great question. I don't really have the answer. It's a great question for the market makers. That's why I'm saying this is a good opportunity to get them at $2.50 lower than Maybe you would have thought. Maybe soccer theory says the longer you're able to keep an attacking team from scoring, the team that packs it in can capitalize on a mistake. I'm not entirely sure. I've only covered one level of soccer, and unfortunately, my guy Paolo Del Piccolo was unable to join us today, the captain of the USL finalist Louisville FC. That's all information nobody probably cares about. Okay, let's get back to the Price is Tight. We're talking Cowboys and Giants. We both said 75, and it is 77. There you go. Humaid checking in saying, bad refs, not going to lie. I assume he's talking about the refs in this soccer match. A conversation happening right now between a striped zebra and Tyler Adams, the captain for the States. Okay, so our next game, we're tied at 1 now. I know we're sort of a split braining it here. Patriots at Vikings, Anita. Go ahead.
I'm going Vikings. I'm going to go 68 after the beatdown we saw him take on the other day, yesterday with Dallas. One would think like, oh, no way. But at the same time, the Patriots offensively, I know we sat here for 5 minutes and ripped on Zach Wilson, but listen, Mac Jones isn't wowing the world either. I just think this offense that he's playing in this season, Josh McDaniels, of course, we know he goes to Las Vegas. He's now head coach of the Raiders. Mac Jones does not look good in this offense either. Jets defense looked quite good. So I think the Vikings being at home, they're going to be favored. Patriots, their defense is good. My play here is the under, but I'm going to go Vikings 68 to win.
So I thought sentiment would be really low on this Vikings team. Having said that, the Patriots offense is a complete non-starter. Their defense is great, but let's be honest, other than that, they're really not doing much. So I said Vikings 61, and it's 59. So they're actually much lower in sentimentality. The market not impressed with Minneapolis or Minnesota rather.
But I don't. But who's impressed with the Patriots offense?
It's a great question. I guess nobody. Wow. I guess two very unimpressive teams locking up there. Our next game, Bills at Lions. So I guess the Bills are just going to shack up in Detroit for a week and a half. They don't have to go anywhere after removing themselves from Buffalo and playing their.
No, they are going home.
They are going home.
They are going.
And then going
home.
back to Detroit. Okay, breaking news. Airplane news from Anita Marks. They're going home. Okay, so the Bills will go back to Detroit to play a second consecutive game. This time on Thursday. I said the Bills would be favored here by a 73 number here. So I think they're worth $73 per contract by virtue of the Lions. We mentioned they've won 3 straight, but you have to look at the teams they've beaten, which are the Bears, the Packers, and a fraudulent Giants team. So I said Bills at 73.
No love lost for you.
Let's be honest.
Those Giants, right?
NFC East team, come on.
Oh my
Not
gosh.
interested.
I'm going Bills 75 here, but again, and Dan, I think they should have stayed in Detroit because think about this: the travel, in the stress of the travel because it was 6 to 7 feet of snow, right? And then having to go back and all the stuff that you need to do to like get in your home, like be able to drive.
Right.
Like think about what we go through, and we don't even have a game that's on a short work week. So you got to keep that in mind. And all the reasons I just shared with you, like this Lions team is playing really hard for Dan Campbell. So I'm going Bills 75, but I'm telling you what, I like the Lions here.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, it is Buffalo 78. So people are really down on the Lions. So you get that one. We're knotted up at 1. It's 1-1-1. Appropriate. Ooh. Since we're watching a soccer match right now. 1-1-1. Our next game, right. Anita, Bengals at Titans. Now, I think a lot of people may be surprised to see that, let's just be honest, the Bengals are going to be favored in this game. But I think a lot of people don't care for the Titans. They don't like defensive matchups. They don't like teams that either can run the ball, shorten games, and play defense. And everybody just loves Joe Burrow. So I think public sentiment on the Bengals is so high that I forced myself to say they're probably going to be favored, even though I think the Titans win. I think they're better. But I said Bengals 53 here.
I went Bengals 55. coming off of an impressive win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, keep in mind, I know nothing to write home about in regard to their offense with Kenny Pickett. He's probably a few years away, but their defense is great with TJ. Did you see that interception TJ Watt made?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yesterday in the game.
Yes.
Was that not the most amazing interception you've ever seen from a defensive lineman? I love this Tennessee. I don't care if people don't like. I love this Tennessee Titans team. I love the way that they play. I love Mike Vrabel. I love the way that Derrick Henry runs with the football. Tannehill's been through a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this Tennessee team, but I'm going to go Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati is, and again, Cincinnati is favored, but I don't think it's going to be a lot. So I'm going Cincinnati 55, but I like the Tennessee Titans here.
Okay, so we're aligned on that. It's close. Cincinnati 52-5.
Oh!
So right on the number there. So it's 2-1-1 right now, going into our final game before we get back to watching the World Cup here. Our final game is, of course, I navigated away from it, Bucks at Browns. So the Browns getting shellacked yet again, this time at the hands of the Bills. The Bucks coming back from a bye. I think people are in love with the Bucks, despite the fact that they're 5-5. They were 3-5. They've won 2 straight. They won in Germany. Tom Brady's back. People seem to love him and his jawline, no matter how fake it looks. I said the Bucks are favored here at 52. Yeah, let's be honest. That thing ain't real.
Oh,
Come
no,
on.
it's all filler.
Oh, for sure.
It's all filler.
This LaFecha? This LaFecha, all real. 100% natural. Me and Sergio.
What?
Do I have to put up his face again? Sergio Aguero, my best friend and brother from Argentina. No filler here, okay? All natural.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Listen, if I have the kind of money that Tom Brady has, and I'm going bald, and I want more hair on the front, so that my photograph, my picture on TV has that cool do, and then that chiseled jawline, and I've got the money to do it, I'll do it. I mean, all the power to him.
Okay.
I think people feel, their heart goes out to him because now allegedly his wife has been seen out with her jiu-jitsu trainer, who, by the way, looks like you, Dan.
Things are coming up, Dan. What can I tell you? Yep. I'm in the World Cup. I'm dating like Giselle. Yeah, my wife is going to be pissed about this part of the show. But I will tell you, things are coming up, Dan.
But I've got the Bucks at 63. Again, I think everybody is just like pulling for Dan. I mean, pulling for Dan.
Yes.
Pulling for Tom Brady this year. The Bucks coming off of a bye. They look like they kind of turned the corner. The division is still wide open for the taking, and this is their opportunity to make a run to do it. Listen, don't sleep on this Browns team, though, okay? I mean, Jacoby Brissett put up a ton of points against the Buffalo Bills. So their offense looked good. Here's what my concern is. You got Deshaun Watson coming back next week. So how much practice? How much? I know we're talking about practice, not a game, not a game.
Oh,
we're talking about practice.
Come
Okay,
on.
but how much practice? Like what? Because of the collective bargaining agreement, you're only allowed so many practice hours.
Right.
So how are you splitting that up to get Deshaun Watson ready for Week 13 when he's going up against his old team, the Houston Texans? So I do like the Bucks here. I'm going Bucks $63.
Not only am I sleeping on the Browns, it took no medication whatsoever. I didn't have to take any NyQuil. I didn't have to do anything. I just laid down on my pillow and I was asleep. And to go back to your previous point, that is the first of what I hope will be many times somebody confuses my name and Tom Brady's in a sentence. Okay, so you had the Bucks at 63. I had them at 62. It is 61.5. So just off of it. But things are getting real interesting for the season-long Price is Tight. We are now tied at 4 with one miraculous tie, which, who knows, that could end up being the tie that sends us into the offseason tied. That would be interesting. Real quick before we return to soccer, we'll let you know about our weekly sweepstakes here on the program. $100 every week. All you have to do is follow Sport Trade on Twitter and quote tweet our Market Mover Show with hashtag TradeUpNewJersey. If you do that, you are entered into a contest to win $100, of which we award that on a weekly basis. All right, let's get you caught up on our trades here. I'm seeing a lot of red, unfortunately. Except, of course, for the under 2.5 from Anita. The United States to win, trading at 38. They have a corner right now, floats over one's heads, and is cleared by Wales. Under 2.5, 82.5, up $21.50 here for Anita's trades on the left of your screen. That one looking pretty good now that we're in the 34th minute of a scoreless game. And the United States to win by 1.5, down to 12.50, but as Anita has said, sort of a dart throw. On my side of the aisle, I'm the over 2.5, which is looking pretty terrible unless some things start to happen. And then the United States to win, again, the same thing, down 2. But the U.S. has been controlling the ball here, Anita, quite a bit. Again, 35th minute, ball is now out of bounds, and the U.S. will get a chance to set things up here from the point of attack, for lack of a better term. But really, I'll pull up the possession stats in a second. Ball a little too far to be played. So now we'll go back to Wales. I'll pull up the stats here, time of possession and whatnot in a second. The U.S. has 2 yellow cards so far in the game. Only 1 save for Wales, but again, time of possession fully in the U.S.'s favor. They have held the ball 69% of the match. The Wales just 31%. The U.S. with 2 shots on goal, Wales with just 1.
Exactly. So why are we in the red?
Well, what I'm seeing right now is that the U.S. something is afoot, because the U.S. is now $72 to win. So let me pull this back up so we can all see. Oh, wrong button. We've got to run. We've got to run out. And here's an opportunity for the States, and they score. USA! 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 1-0. Uncle
I'm not
Sam.
going to show my sports bra. I am not going to show my sports bra, Dan.
Brandi Chastain, blush, why don't you?
Yeah.
USA. USA.
Right, what are we trading now? What's going on?
Let's go.
Are we selling?
The United States up, let's see on your screen here, up $30.50. Now trading at $70.50 for that particular trade. Your trade now, I mean, this is the real question, Anita. Do you want to sell United States minus 1.5? You're up $10. Keep it, or are you doing to keep it, or do you want to ride it out? I mean, that's a great opportunity. So on the right here is my trade for the U.S. to win the game. The same trade Anita's got. So that's now up $28.50. And the U.S. to win minus 1.5 is at $12.50. So Anita's the one with a decision to make here. The under, let's recap that real quick. The under 2.5 only dropped $3, and I am on the over, which is now up $2.50. So just in 37th minute. So a lot of time here for those over bettors who are looking for some entertaining footy.
So I think this is what I'm going to do here, Dan.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to sell and walk away with my $30 per share.
Okay.
Of the United States to win.
All right.
But I'm going to hold on to the United States minus 1.5.
All right. So you're in,
because I got it at $16.
So we're selling the U.S. to win at 70. You've almost doubled your money. You're going to take about $30 home. So there you go. Anita, in for $30 there. U.S. now leading Wales 1-0. And now take a look. I mean, U.S. minus 1.5 now at $15.50.
I'm going to hold on to that.
Okay. All right. We're holding on. Let's go back to our main screen here. We take a look at our portfolios for the two of us.
How fun. How fun that we were on air when they scored, Dan.
Amazing.
I feel so much closer to you right now. I feel like we bonded in a weird USA World Cup way.
I mean, where else can you possibly get Tom Brady filler information and Brandi Chastain bra references in like 2.5 minutes? This is the only show. This is the only show. So again, my trades, United States, I'm holding on to the U.S. I'm going to ride that out because there's still another $30 to be made. And I think they're going to take this thing home, considering, again, they've possessed the ball for, let's see, 68% of the game. I think that number is only going to continue to go up. So I'm going to stick with that. Anita will back out here. You're on the under. So we're head-to-head on the total, which is trading at 58.50 for you and 41.50 for me. So we'll leave that up as things progress here. Now, 39th minute, the U.S. continuously just putting the screws to Wales, just continuously putting pressure on them.
And again, as you said, I'm threading the needle here.
Yeah.
What I need to happen is I need the United States to score one more goal, and then that's it. Nobody score any more goals. At what point in time, I think if the United States does go up 2 goals, now does their attention just become like defensive and not so aggressive and not so attacking. I think that's what I'm hoping happens here.
Well, what do they say? The most dangerous lead in soccer is 2-0, I think, right? You start to let down a little bit. Maybe. Okay. Well, maybe. Who knows? 39th minute, Wales barely putting any sort of attack on. U.S. now leading 1-0. I'll be honest, I didn't even see who got the goal, so let me look that up real quick.
Ooh, somebody's down.
Timothy Weah getting that goal for the Stars and Stripes.
Oh, is it Bale? Bale just got a yellow.
Good. I got a real bone to pick with him.
You do?
LAFC defeated the Philadelphia Union in the MLS Cup recently, and he scored the equalizer in extra time in order to send that to penalties. Getting a lot of messages here.
Just awkward silence for us because we're both so mesmerized by this match.
Getting a lot of messages here on my end saying goal. So people really excited, really pumped. I'll put our trades back up here so everybody can see. I'm going to keep U.S. to win up because who doesn't love seeing a healthy green money bar? U.S. on the attack yet again. Not much of a shot there from the left side, but again, they continue to just put the pressure on. About 4 minutes until a little extra time before halftime, which is probably when Anita will say goodbye. Well, why don't we run back through our World Cup futures one more time, if that's okay with you?
Absolutely.
And run back what you think is going to happen over the course of the next several weeks from Qatar.
Yeah. So again, futures wise, Brazil is the best team. I mean, I do feel that it would be a monumental upset if Brazil does not win the World Cup. They're just too good. It's part of their DNA. It's what the country is about. They breed soccer players in Brazil. They have no weaknesses. They have not one but two of the best goaltenders. They've got strikers. They've got great defense. And again, one of the big topics is heat being a huge factor this year in Qatar. So they check all the boxes. Also, I do like Spain. I think they're the second best team on paper. They're coming together. They come into the World Cup feeling really good about themselves. I love their manager. They've got a strong midfield. So I'm all about Brazil and Spain. And I threw a little coin on the USA just for patriotism.
Sure.
And also, I do like Uruguay. I think Uruguay could be a really good sleeper in this whole thing. And again, you're not paying a lot of money for Uruguay. I don't see. You don't have it listed here on the graphic.
I can look that up for you. Give me 1 second. Uruguay is, I believe, under $1, maybe. Let's see.
There you
Uruguay
go.
is $3. I don't think $3 for Uruguay.
I don't think exactly. Why you let the folks know all the reasons why you like Argentina again, besides the fact that that your doppelganger is on the roster.
That's it. Me and Aguero separated at birth naturally. So I can't wait for this to get back to him at some point, and then we become best friends. We do brunch together every weekend with the World Cup. Again, 43rd minute here. The U.S. up 1-0 over Wales. We're starting to see Wales getting a little more aggressive, sort of coming out of their shell a little bit here defensively, trying to push, create a bit of an offensive push. But to this point, to no real avail. Having said that, they now are possessing deep into the U.S. end and starting to set up a little bit of offense here. Shape, very important in soccer. Thanks, #analysis. Then, of course, Wales just floats it on back into their own end. So we'll see if they're able to put anything together there. Let's show our trades maybe for the final time. I assume we may get 2 or 3 minutes of extra time. There really haven't been too many stoppages. In the Senegal game earlier, I don't know if you saw this, Anita. A young gentleman was hit in the midsection very lightly, had to be carted off. So there you go. Difference between soccer and some other sports. Again, the U.S. now trading at $70 to win. I'm going to hold on to that one because I think they're going to run the table here. The over is now up 50 cents. And if you're looking at this and saying, well, the game's half over, I may actually want to consider getting out of this right now because you're really counting on Wales opening it up in the second half, although it looks like a corner for Wales coming up. And then, you're hoping for a second goal from the U.S. So I'm actually going to go ahead now. This is up $2 And when this market comes back, let's see, the spread is such that I'm actually going to lose $2. So I'm going to hold on to that one actually. And because it's down $2, I'm going to assume this corner kick doesn't do a whole lot. That's where I'm thinking. I'm thinking I'm going to ride out the States to win, and if I lose on the over, that's okay. I'm still coming up in the black.
I like it. And again, I sold my shares of the United States winning, but I also got them -1.5 at $16, and I held on to that. I'm hoping, and as Dan said, I am threading the needle. I'm hoping for one more goal from the United States, and then kaput. That's it. No more goals. And then the under, as well as the United States -1.5 hits. And then I'll look forward to tomorrow.
So if the U.S. scores and they go up 2-0, what would you do? So you had U.S. -1.5 at 17. If they score again, that may go up to 60 for all we know. But now you're hoping that nothing happens with the total.
Right. I'll sell it, and then I'll wait and just figure out, see what happens with the total. But if anything, I'm definitely ending the day as a winner in regard to the 3 plays that I made in this USA match.
I love it. Anita, any last parting thoughts here now as we enter the 46th minute of the first half? It looks like they may blow this one dead here at any second.
No, in regard to soccer, no. But just a reminder, the game tonight, I really do like the under.
Yeah,
that would be my play in the Monday Night Football game. So I'm looking to take my soccer winnings from this afternoon and place them on the under tonight in the Monday Night Football game. Under 43.
Again, not priced at $5.50, but rather $50.50. Anita Marks, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much joining us on Mondays, as she always does. We'll talk to you next week.
Go USA.
Go USA. 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 All right. We'll catch everybody tomorrow. Captain Jack Andrews joining me in studio before we take the rest of the week off for Thanksgiving. Until then, we'll catch you.